On to the black ships. So Black Admiral, we were just talking about this.
I wouldn't touch it, to be honest. I don't see the point of putting any money on the table for that. I mean, it's a Hipper with a radar, but you're not meant to be engaging at radar range anyway. Your AP, it's going to overpen. Your HE sucks. So I don't really see the point of... I wouldn't spend any money on it. It's just a Hipper, but I simply wouldn't spend any money on it. That's... well.
See, I'm going to disagree with that one. I think it's a niche shipper because it brings a lot of support to the table. So maybe it might be more of a competitive situation in the competitive scene. You might want to pick it up because it does bring that radar, which, you know, maybe you're trying to defend your battleships. You need to spot the DD that's hunting your battleships in the back. This thing has it, and it can help. Like, I see moments.
Yeah, but usually in that thing, if you're between battleships and DDs, you usually don't last very. You have to be careful with it. You know? So no, not a fan of it.
Never said I was a fan of it. I just see it.
That's fine.
Black Amagi.
Why would we need that thing in the first place? If they had done it like the Black Bismarck with Rapid Reload 2, yes. But Rapid Reload 1, I'm not trading Provincien for Rapid Reload 1, to be honest. So, yeah. No, not on a ship like an Amagi who has accuracy issues and has 10 guns. The problem is if you get those 10 guns on target, you're destroying everything. So, yeah, I wouldn't give a Provincien on an Amagi, to be honest. So, well, for me, it's not a cent on table for that.
Yeah, it was kind of the beginning of the brawling Japanese ships, and they were just not good. Like, Black Bismarck.
Yeah, I discussed that with Don Singh, by the way. This one, I would actually put it in the meta.
Yeah,
I think it's the only ship that can brawl an Atlantico. The only problem I have with the Black Bismarck, it's I could not test it, not in a real 1v1. I've had many encounters with Atlanticos, but not really 1v1. The only problem I have with it is it's a press account ship typically because your Reaper, that's what makes Brandenburg, Odin, etc. quite nice. You can just simply put Reaper on it, Scharnhorst, etc. It's the same commander. You're never going to have a dedicated Reaper for that thing. And therefore, it's never going to be as, not as good, but when I play it on the press account, it's just completely huge. It's very good. But on my regular account, I haven't bought it, to be honest, because I don't simply have a commander to do it justice. And maybe on my second account there, I have another Reaper, which is more spec'd for, But on my main account, yeah. It's sad, huh? Because it's a very good ship.
Oh, it is a really good ship. My biggest problem is I keep on getting those games where I'm having to be the rock in the hard place. And yeah, I can get good damage, but I'm not winning because my team isn't doing the full thing and going around. So it's just my numbers in this don't
like Bismarck, yeah. Probably the only counter to Atlantico that still exists.
Yeah, and that's a you have to be very good. And yeah, the Atlantico is just stupid powerful. Black Chapayev.
Well, we haven't reviewed the Chappie yet, but it wasn't buffed the way the Chappie was buffed. So for me, we're not going to anticipate on Chapayev, but I would put it somewhere between niche and competitive. It's still a good ship, but it hasn't received the radar. So yeah, it's a good ship. It
definitely comes down to, do you want damage or do you want support? And that's the whole thing. That's why I would be like, I'm going to put it in niche and let that, because it's sometimes you're going to want that, and sometimes it's the Moskva versus Stalingrad argument again, you know?
Right. No, I agree.
Yep. Black Charles Martel. Can I do this right there?
It's just, it's just the perfect combination of arguments that do not go together.
So bad.
It's just the opposite of the playstyle of the French line, and then you kind of turning it into a sniper with Provincien, but you give him 6 engine speed, so you can just snipe very fast, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I don't see the point.
Just don't buy the Black Charles Martel. Oh my god.
Don't spend any money on it.
Carbon copy time.
You might not want to spend any money on this one either, because if I'm not mistaken, when they buffed the AP pen of all the British light cruisers, they didn't touch this one. So it's the black version of an excellent ship. But you can look in the patch notes, it was not adjusted. So usually they tell you if they adjust it on a black chip. So if they did, it's just it's a lazy Edinburgh, because it's just, I think, 1% more HP, 1% more damage.
Yeah.
But for the rest, it completely changes the ship. But for the rest, it's still a good ship. But would I spend any money on it? Well, not anymore. I bought it before they...
I put it in niche. This is literally, do you want a black Edinburgh? Do you want a premium Edinburgh? That's basically it. There is no changes. So, no, just...
Do you want a premium worst Edinburgh? That's the question.
Yeah.
Well, how much do you love BT?
I love Edinburgh. It's a fun class, but it's only because of BT. But Black Gascogne.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a better Gascogne. It's the precise aim and rapid reload combination that's making it very good. So yeah, it's for me it's a good ship, and definitely above Gascogne. So we're kind of anticipating here, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's competitive, just the Roma treatment.
The problem it suffers from is that there is another French battleship at tier 8, which is kind of dwarfing all the others. So
yeah, that is true. Alright. Black can't talk this morning.
Yeah, I put it in competitive. I would put it in competitive because it's a minor improvement over the... If I'm not mistaken, it's a better fire chance, and that's about it.
And that's a load of bullshit. No, we do not need any more fire chance. We do not need more fire chance.
Oh, but I mean, it's. I think it was. Let me check because I don't know everything by heart.
Buff AA1.
The dive members, yeah, the fire chance was already reasonable on Implacable. So it was like 1 fire per minute, which is on par, a bit better than Shokaku, better than Chkalov, and a little bit, of course, below the Americans. But yeah, it's a decent CV. It's overpowered just like any other CV at tier 8. But voilà.
Yeah, it's just bullcrap.
Would I spend money on it? No, not necessarily.
And I think we're talking to the wrong crowd about CVs. Especially for us.
We'll see.
Yep. Black Kansas. Now, I'd like to know where you're going to put this because I had a hard time placing this.
So it's the Kansas with the scout plane.
And rapid reload as well. So that way you can get 2 off.
Let me check because I'm not sure about that.
It's only rapid reload. It's just so you can get 2
you're getting scout plane and rapid reload. Yeah. Well, you can use your American commanders from the other lines on it, so that's good. Would I pay money for it? No, because I don't like the Kansas. It's just not my kind of ships and playstyle. So I have strong bias against it. So I'm going to let you place it.
I enjoyed it. I think it's competitive. It's just I find tier 8 commonly you will run into the situations where the speed isn't a big issue with the kind of the Vermont situation of just sometimes the battle can run away from you. But the Kansas, I find tier 8 just generally tends to be a sniper match. So this thing is a good sniper. So
okay, fine. Right.
Lexington.
Off competitive as well. So.
I wanted to put it in. Dear God, why?
No. That's what I thought the first time I played it, like some 3-4 years ago. And then I picked it up again last year, and then you can do anything you want with it, essentially. So it doesn't give up anything to the other CVs. It's a lot easier to control. Surely it's on the lower end of the competitive spectrum. That's very clear. Would I take it over the Implacable? No. But it's just so easy to manage and so reliable that you can't really go wrong with it. So the first time you play it, you're just sending your squadrons in front of you, and indeed it sucks because you're doing that twice per minute or once per minute, and then you're staying at the back, etc. But the fact that you have so little to control gives you so much time to think about what you're going to do, who you're going to attack, look at the situation, that it's actually fairly good. And then again, I mean, it's a CV, so you can attack any ship on the map. You can scout anywhere you want. You get an unlimited amount of plane. You can never deplane those things.
No.
So
it's
you can use it in any game mode. So
I hate CVs. Great way to start the morning. Let's talk about how bad CVs are.
Yeah, but we can. I mean, I'm the first one to. I'm started playing CVs. CV main originally. Now I play all classes, but I'm the first one to agree that they're all overpowered. So
that is
you
true.
don't need to convince me. So
Definitely. Black
Lightning. I was actually preparing for this, thinking about the DDs I would put in meta. I would probably have it somewhere competitive and meta. So, because giving the Lightning, trading the A for rapid reload. This morning I deleted an Ostergotland in half a minute with it. Like literally sonar, dodge torpedoes, pam, 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 and then I like it. I really like it. I regret not actually gambling for it when it was on sale last week. Well, voilà. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'd put it in competitive. Then again, I'm not the biggest fan of Lightning in general. I don't know, it just didn't work for me. But overall, I'd say it's a very competitive, very strong ship, almost meta, almost with that rapid reload. But Black Monarch. I love this ship. It's going right into competitive though.
Black Monarch. Okay, that's interesting. I would put it in Dear God Why, to be honest, or in playable, because
Dare you?
the Monarch is just excellent. In terms of Tech 3 battleships, that's probably the best ones. We're anticipating a bit. So I don't think we needed a black version of it in the first place. And yeah, what does it get? It gets smoke for rapid reload 1, something like that?
Yeah, which
so
in reality...
the only weakness of the Monarch, it's your short-range performance, because your secondaries are garbage, and for rapid reload 2, I tend to save it for those engagements. And now you're giving me rapid reload 1 instead. Okay, and the smokes, you're trying to conceal a cathedral into a smoke screen, so yeah, good luck with that.
Well, maybe I'm biased.
I wouldn't pay anything for it, because I have the Monarch. I stopped grinding the line there. That's what I recommend everybody does as well. And then I'm very happy with the Monarch.
Yeah, I just like the Monarch class.
It's certainly not bad, and it certainly deserves to be competitive, because the Monarch is competitive. The question is, why would you pay for it?
I don't know. I just like the Monarch, and I want to be able to use Nelson on it.
Okay. Then you have a good reason.
Yeah, I just love the Black Monarch. Maybe I'm biased, so maybe follow Nick's up there.
It's definitely competitive. It's definitely competitive. Voilà. It's just it's premiums. When I make videos on my channel, I always try to think like from a buyer perspective. Would I put money on it? And voilà.
I would, but that's just me. But Black North Carolina. Can I just do that or no? No.
I don't know, to be honest. It's well, what does it have, this one again?
It's the sonar side.
Yeah, you get you drop a rapid reload for a sonar. Yeah. Well, I mean, the North Carolina, it's a good all-rounder. For me, it's not a competitive ship, and the black version of it, it's more of it. So voilà. It's not bad, but it's also not competitive for me. So.
Yeah, I hate the North Carolina class, so I'll join you on playable. It works.
Oh, voilà. Something like that. Because honestly, if you had to put money on the table, I would put it on an Alabama, not on a North Carolina, or black version of it. So.
Oh yeah, definitely Alabama's way better, more consistent. So, Black Shokaku.
Shokaku. Meta up, all up there.
All the way. Not in my hands, but...
All the way. Super. But the Shokaku will be there as well, to be honest. But that thing, it just improves on all the weaknesses of the Shokaku. So, it increases the DPM, which was not a weakness of the Shokaku, but you get better fighters, and that's amazing. It's everything you need. So, it's just a straight-up better version of the Shokaku. So, it's not even a different playstyle. So, meta.
Yep. Black Takao. As in best Takao. This is the best Takao. Like, just that's the only thing. If you like the Takao class, this is the only competitive version of it.
You know, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I just have the same issue with it as I have with the rest. All the Japanese ships of the line are with precise aim, and that thing is not. So even if I wanted to buy it, I simply would not be able to put my commanders on it. So it's a bit annoying. So, but if you have the commander spec for it, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think the smokes, the fuel smoke, it's really what that class needed, just to get out of tricky situations, because otherwise you simply cannot do that. And I love the Japanese line. I love the Japanese heavy cruiser line. But yeah, if you make one positioning mistake, you're going to regret it for some time.
And this gives you 2 outs. And rapid reload, and you're still at Takao, and you get additional heal. So it's like this is just the best of everything. As much as it could be a niche, I'd agree with that.
No, you can leave it in competitive. It's fine.
Yep, I'll leave something else there. Black Talon.
I don't even want to touch it.
So as much as this gives a useless ship a niche, it's still in Dear God Why.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's a funny ship, and that's basically it. But just don't.
I'm just looking at it. What does it have? Fuel smoke and torp reload. Yeah. Why would you give a torp reload to that thing? I mean, it's not supposed to get anywhere near the action anyway. So.
That's the whole idea. It's so stupid. It works.
Yeah, there is another stupid cruiser which has a torp reload, which is also awful, but much better much less awful than this one. So I wouldn't put any money on it.
Oh yeah, and then Black Veneto.
I haven't played the Italian battleship line yet, so it's your call.
It's niche. It's just it just gives, I think, secondary reload, or no, it's kind of a half Roma treatment. That's what it is. If I remember. Yeah, so it's okay. It's not anything to write home about. Just get the Vento if you like the Vento. The Vento's the best, or just get a Roma. Oh wait, that's that. Am I spoiling? I'm spoiling stuff for later.
That would be my suggestion, yes, but I don't think there's much suspense on where we're going to put the Roma, so it's okay. I don't think.
Well, we're finally at sea. We're only 40 minutes in. Let's keep moving.
Next one, that's an interesting one. So let's hear you pronounce this one.
The Champagne.
You have a lot of champagne. That's good.
I live in Michigan, just below the French area, so we kind of get a little bit of French here.
Okay, yeah, you can pronounce the one which have the same name as alcohol bottle, so that's good. Because I'm seeing your decoration behind you. So the champagne. I think for me it's funny. I discussed this with Wargaming actually. It's the perfect illustration of a good premium ship. In that it's not overpowered. It's not bad either. It's fun to play. It's in a niche, to be very clear. It's a heavy cruiser disguised as a battleship. If you get it into a cap, you're dead.
Yep.
But it has a series of attributes that connect perfectly well together. It's probably the only ship with 6 guns that I would actually consider using at tier 8, because all the others, it's just you're just shooting nail guns essentially. But this thing, it's just an amazing damage dealer. It's very, very funny to play. And I asked them to put it in a bundle or something, give it a big discount, because I will buy it, but they haven't done so. It's always sitting behind something like 60 euros or something like that. So yeah,
I'll back you up on that, because I love the Champagne. This thing is just a sniper. It's one of those things. Once again, the battle cruisers that are battleships are good. The battle cruisers that are cruisers generally suck. Yeah. So this thing is fantastic. Plus, also, if you want an instant Citadel mission finisher, this is it. Like, this thing gets easily 3-4 Citadels a game, and that's without the APCS.
It's a very, very fun ship. For me, it's highly recommended.
Oh yeah, very fast, very nimble, snipey. Yeah. Don't get in a brawl. Though it is kind of funny in a brawl. The French secondaries at close range, and I'm talking about 4 kilometers in, they can do a good bit of damage. A lot of people forget about that.
Yeah. Chappy. I would put it all the way on top. For me, it's a very, very good ship. It does everything that you need. It's very safe to play. It's got great AP, great HE, great fire chance. It got a radar. Without the radar, I would put it below. But with the radar now, when you have to push into those cap areas at the end of the battle, you can actually do it safely.
That's true.
And for me, it's the safest line to play if you're starting with cruisers. It's just very simple playstyle. Anybody can do it. It's I mean, all you need to do is click on things. It's so far so good.
Yes,
So it's very consistent. Well,
yeah, Fiery G, max range. Just don't get anywhere closer, and that's why I'm gonna put it in niche just because it is so easy just to nuke these things away. Like even at max range, you put a Roma with precise aim on it, and this person, let's say you're at max range and you're not turning at all.
Yeah,
it can have a bad day.
That's true of any cruiser. Huh? So. That's true of any cruiser. I agree with you, and those things do not have the maneuverability that you would expect from a cruiser with 15-centimeter guns. But they make up for it, honestly. The accuracy, I mean, if you want to snipe DDs at 12 kilometers, this is the ship to do it. Huh? So you don't actually physically need to get into caps. If your DD shows broadside at 12 kilometers, press the magic button, and so...
I agree. I love it. I just think in the overall meta, I can't. I don't agree with that. I don't. But I love it. I do love the Chappy. It's just not.
Can we agree on competitive? Because you're hurting me, putting that below the black Chapayev.
Okay. I'll agree with that. We'll compromise. I like that. Charles Martel.
Charles Martel. That's a tough one. I'll probably put it somewhere in niche. I don't know what you were thinking, because it kind of fits the overall playstyle of the French line. It's not great, it's not bad either. It's decently fast, rapid reload is fine with it. But yeah, it doesn't, definitely not competitive, that's sure.
I put it in playable just because it's in that awkward phase. It doesn't have the rapid reload 3 of the Henri. It does have the better layout than the the Algerie. And like that, so it's one of those. It's a playable ship. It's just it doesn't have the uniqueness that the tier of or the line eventually gets to its fullest. So you generally end up just shooting HE at long range, which there's better versions of those ships at that. And then whenever you ambush, it doesn't really have the alpha yet. It doesn't have the punch. So
I think that the French destroyers, as of tier 8, are much better at executing that playstyle than the cruiser. So that's my pick would be on the French destroyers, not on this. So voila. So above the black one, that's definitely above. It could hardly be below, but yeah, somewhere between playable and niche. I'm fine with it. Yes.
No.
Cherbourg. Cherbourg. Yeah, I've reviewed it a couple of times. Full disclaimer, I like it. I'm probably the only one, but it's for me it worked very well. It's just I was a bit surprised when we had the last update that they only buffed the accuracy of Marseille, because that thing, it's just like shooting a Kalashnikov or throwing potatoes at something. It's very frustrating at some point. So it's very, very frustrating. So, but I love it. It can handle scenarios that Richie cannot take, and vice versa. It's just that Richelieu, which has kind of a similar gimmick, is more suited to the meta of tier 8 than Cherbourg is. So for me, that's the thing. So for me, I would put it in niche, but still pray that Wargaming gives it an accuracy buff. But it's definitely, I mean, the fact that you get rapid reload too, it lets you switch ammo types very easily. You can delete destroyers super easily with that thing. If they YOLO you, they're dead. But the A is garbage, the secondaries are garbage, the accuracy is garbage. Yeah.
That's why I'm going to go into playable. I didn't mind the ship, actually, when I was grinding it. I actually ground it after the Atlantico nerf, so that was kind of nice. Didn't have to deal with too many of those. But at the same time, it's just the accuracy. I've got a video where literally at 4 kilometers, I split on a DD. The rounds just went on either side. I'm like, are you me?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's definitely more doesn't. So...
I agree.
Okay, Cheshire. Perfect. Awesome. Are we done?
Before that, I would have put it... I mean, it just doesn't deal enough damage for me. It has the full support playstyle, but they just introduced the Belfast 43, and I just don't see the point of playing this. I mean, you get better AA, yes, but okay. you're not going to stop a CV anyway, and if they want you dead, you're dead anyway. So
Yeah, no, it's just not
yeah.
good at all. So few, and for fun fact, this was actually the one that won, ship this event for the Cheshire. This was the one that started all of my actual live videos instead of just streaming.
Okay.
So I have a horrible history with this. Chkalov.
I said all the CVs would be overpowered, but I forgot this one actually.
I'll help you out with this one. Just gonna help you out with that one.
Look,
it's still a CV. It's still a CV.
No, it's what I don't like about it, it's only good for the moment because there is a bug in the game. So concretely, it does have a good DPM. It does have good statistics, but it doesn't have any survivability for its planes. So you just force fight the 2 fighter squadrons. You're going to delete them every single time, and then it's just you're just left with a Pobieda that doesn't have. It's only with a fraction of its damage. So the only reason why it's actually playable and possible to do well with it is because now, from whatever reason, sometimes you get your squadrons of fighters back or whatever from the dead.
Yeah.
And you can actually see that in my review of the ship. So I lose my fighter. Make one mistake with them, they're gone.
Yeah.
And then you just need to... So if you're facing someone who has a vague idea of what he's doing, then there's not a lot you can do in the Chkalov, I'm afraid. So yeah.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of it, to be honest. I was not a fan of it. And it doesn't compensate with being overly aggressive like the Nahimova, for example. So yeah, that's kind of my beef with that thing.
Where would you put it though?
No.
Playable?
We'll put it somewhere in niche, to be honest, because it's
Niche?
a very specific playstyle. Yeah, niche.
Yeah, it's still a carrier. I generally say though, most carriers I've talked to, they literally have said, why even play it? Just get the Pobedo. But
yes, yeah, but that would be my take as well. But it still can scout anything on the map, can strike anything anywhere on the map. I mean, it's just and without taking any risk. It's still a carrier. Yes,
it's still a carrier.
It's still a carrier. So voilà.
Cleveland. I love this ship.
Yeah, why don't you put it in meta? That's interesting because that's where I would put it. I think it's for me it's not the perfect cruiser because you have to know what you're doing, but it's a very solid all-rounder. It's got the complete support package, and you can handle every situation that's thrown at you. So
I
think it's the complete package. CVs, they will tend to leave you alone. DDs, use your radar. Just get spotted, use your radar and destroy them. Cruisers, use your AP, you'll be fine. And if they're too far away, just retreat. And then battleships, find the nearest island near you and then trash can them. So yeah,
I agree with that. Well. Unfortunately, at range, which tier 8 you're generally shooting at range, you have to be good with these arcs. The arcs suck on this thing. I love it, and I really would love to put it in meta, but unfortunately, it just those arcs kill it. It's a really, really high competitive, if not low meta. I can agree with that. But just if you were running into a Belfast 43, Atlantico, Borodino, any of these ships, the Cleveland's gonna suffer a little bit. So it's just
until you find an island.
No. So.
Congress, I haven't played it. No, that's the cruiser. No, it's the Constellation I haven't played. Congress, that's the cruiser with the 305mm guns. That's it.
Yeah, it's the Alaska tier 8.
Yeah, it's the Alaska that's missing a turret. I think we. Missing 2 turrets. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
or 2 guns. Yeah, 2 guns. Yeah, no, it is just arguably. It's the buffs helped it. It would have been in Dear God why without the buffs. But it's playable now. Constellation.
Again, it doesn't fit any skill set for American cruiser commanders as well, so it's a bit annoying. So
it still needs a buff too. Its AP pen is horrendous.
Yeah. No, fine. Constellation, I don't know.
You don't know? I like this ship, but just don't. it's a massive ship, and you get hit, and you have no armor. It is a Kansas that's going 29 knots, so it's fast, but it's also the size of a freaking school bus. Its guns are good, but
it definitely looks like one, and they've even given it a camo. But no.
It does really. Yeah, but if you're running into anything above this, you're getting dumpstered immediately. Like the Constellation does not.
That's correct. I think the next one is much more interesting. Where would you put this one? Because so far we could never agree on a single DD, I think.
So I actually have a really hard time pushing this because it is a very specific playstyle. But if you know the very specific playstyle, it's borderline meta. But I'm going to go in competitive.
I would put it in meta.
You would? Okay.
I would put it in meta.
I could agree with that. I could.
Alors, hear me out. Yes, as a torpedo boat, it sucks, but as a gunboat, it's amazing and it's virtually unkillable. So
pretty much,
it's just one of these stupid cockroaches that keeps coming back. I mean, why? I mean, why did they give him 6 smokes? You can hardly use your 4 smokes on the other DDs.
Because
I don't think I've ever used the 6 ones in a game, to be honest. I don't remember using all the 6 smokes in a game.
I did one game and I did like 120k that game. I remember that's like my only game in the Cossack that actually I did amazing. Like I was surprised. But yeah, no, Cossack's fantastic. Absolutely. Cross of Dorn.
Cross of Dorn, I don't even want to talk about those virtual ships or whatever. Because I completely disagree with the idea of putting that kind of fantasy ships in the game. It's just, you know, if you've played World of Tanks Blitz and you've seen those smashers and stupid annihilators and what Draculas and etc. It's just taking us down that slope, and well, I think we should resist it with all of our might and heart and courage.
Yeah, I like it. Actually, no. Cross of Dorn is the Odin, right? Yeah. So that one's at least
the Odin.
Yeah, at least that's neat. Wait, because I'm now remembering this. I was like the other ones I put in. Yeah, I want to mark this because it's still an Odin. It's still an Odin. Yeah.
I haven't touched it, so whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't touched any of them. So
have you played the Odin? You've played the Cross of Dorn. Basically, it's just you get a different skill, which is kind of fun. I'll take that. Sorry about that. I was like, wait, crap. This is me going through all my notes. All of a sudden, I'm like, crap, I'm off. Okay, so all right, let's go to the only D ship, but the only Scourge. DZB.
So full disclosure, I actually bought it after I bought it, and then I watched your review. I completely agree with you on this one. I think it's you. I'm not doing it justice at the moment. I haven't taken enough time to learn the airstrike mechanics, to exploit them the way you should, because I've played it a couple of times, but not really doing it justice. I see the potential, but if you're playing it like a regular cruiser, it just sucks. So you really have to find and learn how to use those things. I haven't touched the Dutch 9 yet. I'm waiting for the legendary commander to come on sale, the Michiel de Ruyter. So then I can actually buy it and then do the whole line with it.
Did they fix your Ruyter?
Sorry?
Did they fix him yet? Because his skill, I think, still doesn't work. His unique skill
I don't
take.
I don't know.
I'll test that. It's been a while. But
yeah, I mean, it looks like it's got very, very promising attributes, and indeed CVs are basically leaving you alone. That's already a big plus at tier 8. So yeah.
It does everything. You can manage every ship if you just know how to do those airstrikes minorly. It's just phenomenal, and it's very forgiving. It's one thing reason why I'm pushing for the Harlem, Johan de Witt, and the Golden Liu to all get airstrike reload decreases, because they are not very forgiving, and they don't recoup the damage as well as the DZP can. So if you are a newer player, this ship is niche. If you put minor bits of skill into it, it's meta.
Yep.
And then
you take some time to learn the new mechanic, then indeed it's I would agree with that.
Stupidly